Okay, so today we're going to talk about solving equations with fractions and decimals, and the learning target is going to be learning target number 5, and it is that you will be able to solve equations involving fractions or decimals. Okay, so before we get started, I want to refresh your memory on reciprocals. So reciprocal, say I have 3. The reciprocal of 3 is going to be 1/3. If we multiply any number by its reciprocal, so 3 times 1/3, that'll always give us 1. So 3 times 1/3 is 1. And we know this because if in multiplication you multiply across the top, so 3 times 1 is 3, and then 1 times 3 is 3, and 3/3 is equal to 1. Okay, so if we look at our first problem, we have 2/7 plus 3x is equal to 5. Now when I look at this equation, the first thing that I want to do is get rid of that fraction. So in order to do that, I am going to multiply the entire equation by 7. So I multiply this side by 7, and I also multiply the right side by 7. Now when I multiply the left side by 7, I need to distribute this 7. So I'm going to distribute it to the 2/7 and to the 3x. When I distribute the 7 to the 2/7, I get 7 times 2/7 plus 7 times 3x is equal to, now we know that 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to multiply this out. So 7 times 2/7 is the same thing as saying 7/1 times 2/7. And we saw on the previous slide that these 7s are going to end up canceling out, and we're going to be left with 2/1, which is equal to 2. So we'll bring that 2 down. So we have 2 plus, and then up at the top, we have 7 times 3x, which is just 21x, and then equals 35. Now we're right back to your two-step equations that we've been solving. So we're going to subtract the 2, and we get 21x is equal to 33. And then in order to get x alone, we divide by 21, and we get that x is equal to, now you got to keep in mind we have to simplify the whole way. Now if we look at these two numbers, I know that 3 goes into both of them, so 3 goes into 33 11 times, and 3 goes into 21 7, and that is our final answer. Okay, now I want you to pause this video and try this one on your own. Okay, so when I first look at this one, I'm just going to combine like terms. I think that helps and just get rid of a step right away. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and that's going to give me -4/3 x is equal to -3. If you decided to multiply up at the top in the first step everything by 3, that's okay. You'll end up getting the exact same answer as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 in order to get rid of this fraction. So multiply the left and the right both by 3. Don't forget about the right. Okay, and now these 3, it's going to be 3/1 times -4/3 x is equal to -9. And these 3's are going to cancel, and I'm left with -4x is equal to -9. And then in order to get x alone, I divide by -4, divide by -4, and then I'm left with x is equal to, now a negative over a negative is going to be a positive, so it's equal to 9/4. Okay, so let's try it with decimals now. All right, so when we're looking at this one, we have 2.7x plus 5 is equal to 1.3. Now, what I want you to do is think about back when we were doing scientific notation. When we did scientific notation and we multiplied any of the decimals by 10, how many places did we move the decimal? It depended on the exponent of the 10. So if it was 10 to the first power, which is just 10, we would move it to the decimal place 1 place to the right. And we're going to think about the exact same thing. So if we have 2.7x times 10, we're going to end up moving our decimal one place to the right, and we want to get rid of that decimal. So we're going to multiply both sides by 10. Don't forget about the right side again. So when we multiply this, we're going to distribute the 10 to the 2.7 and to the 5, and we get 10 times 2.7 is 27x plus 50 is equal to, and then again, the 10 to the times 1.3 is going to be 13. Now we're right back to your two-step equation again. So we're going to subtract 50 from both sides, and then we're left with 27x is equal to negative 37. Then in order to get x alone, we divide by 27, and we get x is equal to negative 37 over 27. Okay, so for our last one, let's take a look. We have 6x plus 2.59 is equal to 7.3. Now when we're getting rid of this decimal, take a look at the 2.59. We have two places to the right, which means we can't multiply it by 10 because we'd only be moving the decimal one place to the right, so we need to multiply it by 100. And you can also think about it as there's two zeros, and that's how many places you're moving the decimal. So we're going to multiply the left side by 100 and the right side by 100. So when we do this, we distribute the 100, and we get 600x plus 259 is equal to 730. And then we're going to subtract 259. And we're left with 600x is equal to 471. Then we divide by 600, and we're left with x is equal to 471 over 600. And then when I look at this, I know that they can both be divided by 3, and I am left with 157 over 200 as my final answer.